Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and today it's time for another episode of Kerbal Space Program 2. I cannot wait for my next mission in the Sampo X Kerbal Space Center. If we have a look at the map screen and zoom out a little bit, we can see the Mon here. There's another moon from Kerbin called Minmus, and then we can zoom out even more. This is the sphere of influence, I think, and we go out even more. We can see there are many planets, and of course some of these planets, or even most of them, feature a moon of some sort or even multiple. In the previous episode we learned how to establish an orbit around Kerbin, and today I think I want to visit my first moon, and it's going to be Minmus. Because of the low gravity, it's actually a little bit easier to land over there. And this way we can get familiar with some more of the basics. So without any further ado, let's get this prepared. First of all, I'm gonna set this to Minmus, and we want to have a round trip since we want to save our Kerbal. We're only gonna need about 10,000 delta V minus the 3,400 that is calculated to come back. We of course don't need to land on the planet. We're just gonna use a parachute. In order to land on Minmus, I'm just gonna go with a very small lander capsule and a small tank. Maybe let's go with a mid-sized guy here, and this way we can also set up a bunch of landing legs. I'm also going to be taking care of the electrical charge here on the top and a bunch of solar panels, retractable ones, and I'm going to have 4 of them right there. In order to come back, we're also going to need a parachute, and then maybe we ditch this stage, and also, even though we don't really need it, I'm going to put a heat shield on it. This is just good practice for once the mechanics are implemented. So we'll have a heat shield here and then a decoupling mechanism. You can go there and there. Wonderful. This is going to be our upper stage. Maybe a bunch of lights wouldn't hurt. We could maybe put them right here without interfering with the hatch. Good. Now we only need a little thruster here, and we should have a little bit of a delta V, enough in order to land and get off Minmus again. That means we're gonna construct the next stage, which is, let me see. Maybe let's go for an adapter. We could use an adapter here to make this a little bit larger and then set up a fairing. In payloads, we can find the fairings. I need to find the correct size right here, and this should allow me to go out slightly up. Like so. I can get started, and then we go up a little, and we're just gonna try to make this slightly aerodynamic. At the very end, we're gonna make it pointy, and then it should all come together. Okay, nice. This is gonna be our payload. Now we just need to build a rocket below it, capable of bringing this into orbit and to Minmus. All this upper stage I'm gonna keep in order to land and get off Minmus, even though it is a little bit too much. And now I want to create something to intercept Minmus with 1,270 delta V. So let's go with one of these guys and an engine that is good in space. Like the Poodle engine efficiency seems to be great for that purpose, and we can see this is way too much. We can go with a smaller fuel tank. I mean, we had way too much. What if I just did this? Yeah, look at that. That is already enough to get us to Minmus, just this stage here. So I'm gonna add another decoupler, and then we're gonna start making the part that's bringing us up into orbit. For that, I want to use my mainsail engine. This is giving us 7,000 delta V. So maybe let's add some radial decouplers here as well. And then I'm gonna try my luck with some solid boosters. They might be... Ooh, actually, let's forget about that. We're gonna go with tanks. So I want at least one of you right here, together with another engine. Now, could we just go with the Reliant this time? Let's actually see the difference. If we go with the Skipper, we have 8,500 delta V. And then the mainsail is gonna give us 8 and 4,000. But of course, delta V isn't calculated correctly with all the nooks and crannies, such as if it is in vacuum or on surface level. But still, I think this should safely bring us all the way up into space. Let's just make sure we stage everything correctly. The engines go down below, then we get rid of the side thrusters. Then I want to get rid of the fairings, and then I want to activate the next part. Okay, that should be good. Let's go for a test. Well, maybe this is already going to be the last flight, but usually during the first flight I realize what I've done wrong and what else would have been useful. Okay, I just made my test flight, and there is something that I still need, Let me see. Is that in here? A stabilizer. This is just not capable of steering itself enough. So let's get a mid-sized stabilizer in here and put this right there. Okay, then let's get this started right away. I noticed that I did forget the wings, so I will have to make my gravity turn a little bit more carefully. Otherwise, the rocket is spinning out, which I just experienced. So right now, at around 1,000 meters, I'm gonna start tilting very slowly. And I just want to make sure that at around 10,000 meters, we are at the 90 degrees mark. Just ever so slightly. I don't want to leave the prograde marker too much, otherwise the rocket might be spinning out. So always keep in the prograde marker, but force it over a little bit, ever so slightly. Ooh, not too much, not too much. Come back, come back, come back. Okay, okay, okay. And now at 10,000 meters, we want to arrive at the 90 degrees mark. Come back. Well then, I would say we shouldn't be ashamed of using control surfaces in this case. And let me see if we can get away just using 4 like so. We would have to tilt them like so. That makes sense. Okay then, this is surely gonna solve all our issues. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Oh yeah, this already feels much snappier, I have to say. Yeah, now I can even leave the prograde marker. This is really good. And I want to make sure that my apoapsis remains at around 1 minute or so away from me. So if I just check the numbers down here, and if I turn to the right side, then the timer is not going to go up as quickly. If I turn to the left side, it's going up quicker. Same thing with the kilometers. So just tilting even more, but I don't want to tilt towards the ground. And now these numbers are going up much slower. There we go. I stopped around 90 kilometers apoapsis. It is still 2 minutes away. This should allow us to plan our maneuver node. Now, theoretically, I don't need this stage anymore. So what I should have done is maybe add a fuel line to feed the center tanks as well. But right now, we're just going to ditch this stage like so. And then theoretically, I also need to ditch the next stage, right? I can ditch this stage here as well. And now we only have the stage left that is going to bring us to Minmus and back. I feel like I did this too early. I should have established the orbit first. But well, we can still do it by planning a maneuver node here. And if I want to do this properly, we might even want to tilt the orbit so it matches the one of Minmus. We don't have time for that. I actually have to move towards the node and we have to do our burn very soon. And go. Okay. Let's try to establish that orbit, and it is slowly growing. Not the most powerful engine, the pool one, but it's a good one, efficient, and stop. Okay, that is good enough. We now got a stable orbit, all of the debris is gonna fall back to Earth, and we only have our transfer stage. Now we should be able to go ahead and ditch the fairings, though, well, these guys are gonna remain. So maybe we should have ditched the fairings before to... no. Look at that. I don't even know what that was. But now I'm gonna open up my solar panels and enable the lights. The solar panels on the other side have not been extended. Why? These two guys are literally not extending. Okay, well, we can survive on 2 solar panels. I guess some things that you take on board will just be faulty. Now what I'm gonna do is add a maneuver node here at the periapsis, and the first thing I want to do is my correction, so it tilts slightly into the right direction. We have the same direction as Minmus. And we can already see this is kind of working with 0.4 degrees off right now. Maybe I can get this even better. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly perform this correction, and then we can plot the maneuver node that is gonna bring us to Minmus. There, this is just gonna be 233 delta V, very easy to achieve, a very short burn, but it is an important burn to be able to get better encounters with Minmus. And there it is. Good. Now Minmus is all the way over here. If we plot a maneuver node here, then it might arrive somewhere over there. Let's try to do that. Create maneuver node, and we're just gonna pull on the prograde marker. And because we match the orbits, we should be able to get an easy encounter there. Honestly, this already looks good enough if you ask me. I wonder if we can hit it. What is this? I mean, wow, okay. And will you look at that? We only use about 910 delta V to perform this. Let's go ahead and execute that node. We're gonna warp towards it. Need to go once around Kerbin. And now, unfortunately, I cannot leave the map screen anymore. Whenever I do that, the maneuver node completely gets messed up. So it wasn't even my bad in the first episode, but the maneuver nodes, they do have a problem still. Also, hopefully they're gonna make it less finicky in the future. But now we're performing this burn, so as long as you plan the maneuver node and then execute it right away without leaving the map screen, you're good. But of course, it would be nice to also watch the rocket a little bit. What you gonna do? The fixes should be coming soon. Right now, I'm really hopeful the devs will deliver. Okay, we also got an encounter there with the moon. Now I just want to do it very carefully. Yeah, we need to get that encounter ourselves. The maneuver node isn't helping anymore, and we got it. Now all we have to do is make our way over here, and I gotta be careful. Quick save right here, because I'm not sure if this is even the correct one to click here. Otherwise I would be warping around twice. So I'm gonna time warp to this point, and whoop, whoop. Yeah, looks like I got the correct one. So as soon as we approach this part here, we're gonna be in the sphere of influence of Minmus, and then we can take that as a point to establish a proper orbit. So I'm going to be time warping all the way over here, and that is our encounter right here. That makes sense. So now we have this amount of time in order to establish the orbit, and we would best do it around the periapsis here. Create a maneuver node and then pull on the retrograde marker, and this is gonna establish that nice orbit. So now we get a new periapsis here. This is only going to take 213 delta V. And I'm actually going to try to correct this even more until our periapsis is, well, 30 kilometers. Seems to be a little bit low. Now we have 50 kilometers. I like that. Let's go ahead and execute that node. It's going to happen in 1 hour and 47 minutes. So we need to speed this up. There it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and burn. Be careful, this is not gonna be a long burn. Well, it's not a powerful engine either, but there we go. Now I'm gonna do it very slowly so I don't overshoot too much. Yeah, something like that is good enough. Now we could either land directly on Minmus. I could also have lowered the periapsis to land on Minmus directly. But you know, I think it's also nice to roleplay here a little bit and establish a proper orbit. I mean, usually you'll probably orbit around the planetoid for a little while in order to find a good landing site. But for now, let's just point towards the retrograde marker. That will be that one. And then I'm going to be warping a little bit closer. Oh, what was that? The orbit changed because my vessel rotated around. That is very interesting. Let's time warp over here. Still pointing towards the retrograde marker. And if we burn now, the apoapsis is going to lower itself. And I'm just going to do that until we get that nice circular orbit. And with that orbit, we can now decide for a nice landing site around the orbit, or maybe not even, but this looks like a nice landing site, or we could go for a crater or whatever. Okay, I think I wanna land over here. This is a nice flat space, and it's gonna make it extraordinarily easy. In order to achieve that, let's just keep facing retrograde, and then we're gonna burn a little bit until we actually lower the apoapsis or periapsis enough. Something along these lines, and then I'm gonna do another burn around here. Let's time warp to this point, and I still want to be facing retrograde, but look at this. I just love it. I love this game. We are still fairly high up, but if I do a burn right now, we should be able to target this field. Get a little bit closer. Something along these lines should be good. We still have to take into consideration that I'm gonna have to lose my momentum, so the landing spot is not gonna be exactly here. We usually have to overshoot the landing spot because of the braking thing. But yeah, right now I just want to keep pointing retrograde, and we could, yeah, let's just use some of our fuel here. You have to excuse me, the calculations here in this game aren't correct yet with the delta V, so we will usually tend to take more fuel with us than necessary. Now, I also want to make sure that I change my velocity here to surface speed, so I can see my horizontal velocity, which is of course something I need to kill in order to land properly. Good, I think I'm gonna warp to this point here, and then let's switch into this view. And all I have to do is watch the ground numbers and the surface numbers. We're not gonna be doing a suicide burn, we're not gonna be fuel efficient, but we're gonna be fairly safe. Now, I just noticed we lost a little bit of distance, so I'm gonna be facing my craft up look at that. For some reason, we lost a little bit of distance here, but facing up, I can increase that just like that very easily. And then I'm going to be pointing retrograde again. And I think the turning of my vessel is what actually changes where I'm landing. So this seems to have much more of an influence than in the first game. Okay, very nice. We're coming in hot. We are at around 1,000 meters. I mean, this is kind of a crazy landing attempt that I'm creating here. Usually I wouldn't be coming in this hot, but I think we can rectify this issue by moving up a little bit. Wonderful. And then as soon as I feel safe, I'm gonna kill my horizontal momentum. And by the way, an approach like this is only possible because of Minmus low gravity. I would be coming in a little bit steeper on the moon, I would say. But there we go. This looks like a good landing site. Time to kill our horizontal momentum. And I just need to bring this number here to 0. And then we're gonna be going straight down. But I don't want to go below 0. As a matter of fact, I want to maybe keep it at around 10 meters per second or so. This way we still come down. And now it's time to ditch this tank. So I'm gonna decouple again and enable the next. Is this right? Yeah. So these guys can just get destroyed, and now we are left with only our lander, and we can enable the landing gear. Very nice. Good. I'm gonna go back to around 10 meters per second, and you can see we are pointing more and more up. Yeah, it looks like we can make this a very successful landing. Let's kill more momentum. Oh, that was too much. I basically only want to point my craft upwards, right? Not prograde. Sometimes this can mess with you if you lose too much speed. Good. And now we just keep this engine on to keep us at a decent speed here and turn it off as soon as we touch down. And here we can see our debris actually breaking. No, it didn't even break. Though I guess that means we can destroy it or recover it. It's now time to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We made it to Minmus. How wonderful. Let's do an EVA here with... Whoa. Oh my gosh, game. Why didn't I quick save? Okay, I guess that could have something to do... let me just get back into the vessel. And we're I don't even know what we're gonna do. I guess we... Oh no. I do have a quick save nearly before the landing, so let me just try to do this again. Well, now at least all the solar panels are extending, and I think this might be one of the reasons this happened, because when Bill came out of the hatch somewhere, he just bumped into the lamp, is my guess. Maybe a bunch of lights wouldn't hurt. So that is kind of a pity. I would have loved to place a flag here. Let me see if I can retract the solar panels, and this might help me. Now it's not obstructed anymore, but we got this going on. Let me just release the spacebar. Yes. Come back. Oh, we lost the parachute, and it just... see ya! Okay, I guess we can still plant a flag. Fly safe. I was here. There it is, the flag. Oh no, the animation isn't even correct. But in this case, we just assume we now planted the flag, and now we're going back to Kerbin. The way we do this is we just need to leave the influence, the sphere of influence here, and then we will be automatically caught by the sphere of influence of Kerbin. Now, there are ways to do this really good and better, but we're just gonna try to establish... I have no controls. I literally have 0 controls over my craft. Yeah, I think it's time to reload the game completely, not just with the quick save. So indeed, completely restarting the game is what did the trick for me, and now I have the capability to steer the ship around again. So now with Minmus, this is actually going to be really easy. I would say you can even just fly straight up. Yeah, let's actually try that. We're just going to fly straight up. I actually have to be a little bit careful. But yeah, the sphere of influence isn't that great, and it's exponential how quickly we get there. Like right now we already leave, right? Nope. We are still coming back. Ooh, interesting. This is not right. I think I'm gonna leave it at this point. Let's time warp to this point. And we are leaving Minmus. Let's maybe have a quick look at it still. Oh yeah. See ya. I'm gone. So now, yeah, there we go. We just totally left this. Oh my gosh. We just time warped a week or so. I don't even know. Yeah, I wasn't even able to retract the legs. Oh, jeez. Okay, either way, let's maybe create another maneuver here. Wait. I first want to create the maneuver, and then we just decrease the periapsis until we get into Kerbin's orbit. And you can see this is only requiring a very low amount of delta V. And of course, we want to do it in a way so that we get caught by the atmosphere. Let's see, that periapsis is 395 kilometers. We want to get it to below 70. Oh man, I wish I could keep seeing that, but I have to check every time. This is too much. Okay, nice. I brought it to 50 kilometers. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's face towards that node and warp over there. It's actually 5 days. Is that right? No, it's 5 hours. And we can do the burn right now, lowering our periapsis. And then I'm gonna cut it. I think I overshot. No. This is just another moon encounter we would have gotten. Yeah, I need to lower this number now. Actually, now I can observe this number. Yeah, that's going to make it much easier. And it is now 55,000 meters, which is perfect. That means nothing can go wrong now. We can warp to this point, and then we can start our re-entry into Kerbin. I'm going to point retrograde, and then we speed this up a little bit. Get closer to Earth. How much do I have to speed this up? Of course, we will now be gaining a lot of speed, so it's going to go exponentially quicker as we approach the planet. Here we go. We can see we have a very low periapsis. That means the atmosphere is going to break us. Gonna get just a tad closer, 300, 200 kilometers. Let's break at around 100. Yeah, and then at this point, I think let's just use a little bit more fuel, and then we're gonna ditch everything. So just break us a little bit more, since we have all of this extra fuel available. But yeah, technically we didn't need to do that. We can just use the atmosphere. But this way we don't actually lower the periapsis, we just lower our horizontal speed. So this is actually a good thing. Vehicle is out of fuel. We're gonna ditch that. I'm also gonna retract the solar panels now. And this is gonna be the module we are coming back with. Looks like we're coming down on the dark side of the planetoid. What you gonna do? Yeah, I'm sorry guys, you will not be able to see a thing. Yeah, now we can see how this point is being lowered, so the atmosphere did the rest of the braking. I guess we can enjoy the night sky here as we approach the surface. Time to release the parachute. Let's just assume everything works. Yes, will you look at that? And I'm even coming down on land from the looks of it. Is this an island? This is a small little island here. I had no idea. Look at this on the map screen. Okay, so because of a few mistakes, this mission actually took 236 days, but that was just because I warped around Earth for like 10 times. The main thing is our Kerbal is safe and sound, and we can leave the vessel without issues, and we can also board... oh my gosh, okay. Thankfully, the quick save hath been made, and let's recover the vessel. Very nice. Here are the stats of the flight. We're gonna go back to Kerbal Space Center and enjoy the fruits of our labor, which at the moment is nothing because there's no progression in the game. I know everyone is in uproar because of the poor state of the game. Give it a little bit more time and start complaining when nothing changes. It's always good to give the feedback to the developers, but if you just shit on the game, there is a probability that it will not get made because of that. So I would rather have people encourage the developers to fix these bugs, make the game what we want it to be, and give them good motivation. And then if they keep on not delivering, then of course you can shit on them. Oh, I just realized the mission did not take 236 days. It's just the time that we already spent in this world. But with that out of the way, have a great time, and hopefully I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Bye bye.